Well, hello.
Well, hello. How are you, Mr. Guthrie?
I'm doing great. Thanks everybody for joining us on another episode of Into the Mystic with Guthrie and Shannon. I hope everyone's doing okay today. All right, Miss Shannon, what would you like to discuss this afternoon, this evening, wherever it is?
Well, I've been on a conspiracy theory tear this last week or so. I am wanting to discuss MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. All right, piqued my interest.
It's only the CIA mind control millions and millions of people.
Oh, that's all.
And yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
They've
So
got
let's
their
talk
grubby
about this.
little they've got their grubby little paws in everything.
All right, well, let's talk about this MK Ultra. Then you said it's through the CIA, and it was you said mind control, so basic human experimentation here.
Well, a little bit more than basic. Um, I mean, torture, frequency torture, water torture, crowd torture, you name it. I mean, um, they started doing it, and they started with LSD, and then they dropped the LSD because it actually sparked um the hippie movement, which completely went against everything they wanted.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, they gave up on the LSD thing and didn't work out in their advantage. But you know, things down to TV programming. You know, they don't call it programming for nothing. Radio programming, they don't call it programming for nothing. Um, it started in 1959 with LSD, and it ranged from sound frequency to light torture to water torture to just basically any kind of torture that they felt would work, to make people slave like and subservient to um, suggestion and to um, signs and whatever they wanted.
Gotcha. So you said it started back in 1959,
Yes,
but
one. Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. One of the first ones involved with this was Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay. So we're jumping into actors and actresses, huh?
Well, and I'm not even trying to do that right off the bat, but eventually I'm going to get there for sure. But yeah, they started with the Marilyn Monroe, and how they learned to do the CIA learned to do this through Anton LaVey, who is the Church of Satanism, was head of the Church of Satanism at the time. And so he was a master hypnotist, he was a master manipulator, he was an MK Ultra handler, which a lot of these people that are doing they're doing these experiments on, they need handlers to handle them 24/7. So if they start getting out of line, they can be, redirected back to the MK Ultra torture.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, my thought would be I would think that human experimentation had been going on longer than that. And I only say that because, um, yeah, and I could be wrong. I'm not that smart. But you would think, like I brought this subject up to a buddy of mine, and he informed me that a lot of this has been going on, in his opinion, for quite some time. And the first one that he used is a great example. It wasn't an actor, it wasn't an actress. Adolf Hitler's super soldiers would technically fall under that category too, wouldn't they?
I would agree. I would agree 100. Adolf Hitler had some kind of he had to have had some kind of mind control, manipulation, something. And I know they took 2,000 Nazis from Germany and planted them in the United States. So, and one of them, his last name was Menger, and he was one of the prime scientists for these MK Ultra experiments and stuff. And he was with Hitler until we brought him to the United States. Like, why would we bring him to the United States?
You're asking the wrong person. I
It
can
makes
tell you.
me sick. It just makes me sick. You know, but yeah, they were definitely under some kind of mind control. Um, the closest I've seen to it, and I'm not going to get off on politics and stuff like that, but Donald Trump seemed to have the same impact on people. I mean, they followed him relentlessly, like he could do no wrong. When he, you know, I've never seen any, I've never seen anything like it before.
Mm,
I mean, I don't think we would have let it go as far as Adolf Hitler, but his backing, people really had Donald Trump's back. And, um, you know, there was a following that I've never seen it, not in my lifetime. I've never seen it in my lifetime.
yeah, I don't know. I can't. I don't know if that's something I would agree with, but I mean, we're here talking about the what ifs with the facts. So if that's how you view it, that's how you view it. And you're right. I'd rather not stem into politics. Is
No, 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 no. Let's not do
I'm
that.
certainly not that smart.
Yeah, I'm not political either. It just made me nervous, or it made me, because I always wondered how people could follow Adolf Hitler. There had to have been mind control involved, because you can't get your local human being that goes to church every Sunday, which, even if they don't go to church, the empathy they had to leave behind to genocide a whole, you know, to perform genocide on a whole religion or whatever. It was just terrible. And
Hey, what's up, Robert? How you doing tonight, my friend?
I don't think without mind control they could have done it.
So my whole thing is initially when we started off this podcast, um, you were talking about the LSD that was being used, but I don't think it was just LSD. As one of the fans brought up, excuse me. Um, yes, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hitler also use meth to create super soldiers? Yeah. So I'm thinking that there's more than just LSD. I think there's more than just meth that was involved. Aside from prolonged human torture and honestly, I don't know. I can't say a whole lot about
Oh,
it because I was never there to experience it. Uh-oh. Did we lose our friend?
What's up,
Huh.
Guthrie?
Hey, Brian, what's going on with you?
Well, I
Looks like
noticed Shannon was having some problems, and I didn't want to leave you hanging, so I figured I'd pop on and say hi.
appreciate you. I'm sure she'll be back any moment. So
Oh
we're
yeah.
talking about an interesting subject. It's called the MK Ultra Project. So far, we've come to the conclusion that Adolf Hitler had his hand in form of the MK Ultra, which is
Oh, absolutely.
basic human experimentation and whatnot. And she's back.
Oh,
Well,
Welcome back.
I just wanted to hop on and say hello and cover you while you were having problems there, Shannon.
thank you.
And I'd also like to say about Adolf Hitler, his own people, they they didn't have a choice but to follow him due to the militia in Germany. But
Right,
he was creating what he called a super serum, which was a mix of methamphetamine, LSD, and I can't remember the other few components, but he would give these to the soldiers so that they would be impervious to pain and they could stay awake long hours. But what he didn't bank on is when that stuff started driving them bat, you know what, crazy, and
right,
they started coming down from it. That was their downfall right there.
right. And that's what I'm going to get into later with the stars that are on it.
Well, all
Um,
right.
yeah,
I
I
will leave you guys to it.
thank you,
That
Brian. Um,
was a
you
nice little
so
pop
awesome.
in.
That was a nice pop in. Drop some information, drop some vital. But yeah, I heard that Adolf Hitler was a meth addict, which, if you watch his stuff, he kind of does seem like he would be. Um, but yeah, they with the MK Ultra, they used all sorts of things. Anything that would prod the brain.
The lion just shared. To be fair, he also tried to turn them into werewolves. I don't know how much factual data is behind that, but I'm definitely gonna want to look it up later for sure.
All right. Um, well, and then you get into the branches of the MK Ultra, which there's 150 branches of it.
Oof, that's a lot. I was thinking like 10 or 12 different types of branch offs, but if I remember correctly, it's worldwide, correct?
Oh yeah, it's correct. It's like it's huge. They've got their paws in everything. And one of the main, which and I feel is the saddest, is the well, they have the lone wolf, which is um let's see here. Mark Lloyd Chapman, Charles Manson, Sirhan, James Whitey Bulger, which is crazy to me. But when he was in Alcatraz, he agreed to take do the MK Ultra step. He said that they could do the experiments on him.
Okay. Did you happen to catch what the lion just posted?
I didn't.
Okay, this is maybe Shannon could research that for an episode. The Third Reich's various metaphysical experiments.
I'll definitely do that, Lion. Thank you. Um, and so there's the lone wolves and Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was a child prodigy and a Harvard graduate. And when he went to Harvard, he let them do these experiments on him that were MK Ultra experiments. And, he did go batshit crazy and paranoid, you know. Um, but those are our lone wolves that are a big chapter of the lone wolf like branch of MK Ultra. And then we get into the monarchs. And to me, this is the saddest, and this is where they have the most appeal in our society. Um, what they do is they pluck these kids out of Disney and Nickelodeon, and they brainwash them through normal star behavior, which would be crowds of people, lights, sound frequency. It's not like they're taking them in a torture room and torturing them or giving them LSD that I know of. But you can really stress a kid out and brainwash them at very early ages through fear. And so we have some prime examples are Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, um, our first monarch was Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield. They were known as presidential monarchs. They were bred for presidents and high up politicians. Um, Justin Timberlake, Selena Gomez, Lindsay Lohan, and Amanda Burns.
So
Now,
basically, everybody who's wrapped around Disney.
right, or Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is bad. And so what they do is they get them and they expose them to these scary crowds and scary lights and scary sounds and pluck them out of their element. You think that because they're child stars that these elements would be normal to them, but it's not. It would be scary for you and I, let alone a little 7 or 8 year old kid.
Right. So
And
then,
so,
if you are able to utilize drugs in fear and torture to manipulate somebody's mind, in terms of controlling, if you will, do you think that there's a distinct possibility that it can be done through, we'll say, radio waves, broadcasting waves, certain.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I was really hesitant about the 5G coming out. But we're not
the
going to be able to
5G
stop it.
that's the 5G that's
We're not
killing
going to
off
be able to
birds
stop
just
it.
using it.
Right. We can't stop it. That's what they had the lockdown for, is they're showing us who is in control. Because I know when in my little town, when they were putting up 5G towers, the people in my town were taking them down and like wrecking them and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that okay. I don't want to rule out that possibility just because the spectrum is so wide. Does it, you know what I mean? So I mean, if you could take, the drugs, the fear, the manipulation, and you can't possibly cancel out the idea of radio waves, in my opinion. Just
right. No,
because
no.
different
I mean
frequencies will cause the human body
one
to
of
do
the
different things.
main ways how they're going to do it. Um, but as I was getting onto the
Thank you. Uh oh, we lost our friend again.
Losing control, and this is what the line was saying earlier, is that these stars, they glitch out. I would say glitch out, and they go through these. I mean, remember the whole Britney Spears like shaving her head, and each one of them have had these like huge meltdowns and stuff, and then they seem to just kind of plateau and go about their business and are okay, except Amanda Burns, Amanda Bynes.
Why
They,
is Amanda Bison's an exception?
I don't know. They really did. I think it may have been the age she started at, but they really did a number on her, and I don't think she's going to be able to come back from it. If you see her, she's wearing these wigs backwards on her head. She's out of her mind. She glitched out and she's not coming back from it.
Okay, we keep talking about glitched out. We keep talking about drugs, manipulation, fear. We've even brought up radio waves and all that. It makes me wonder if you can't tie in, the Matrix. Like, I feel like you'd be able to tie that in there somewhere. Like somebody else caught onto this a while ago.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it is part. It's all part of the Matrix.
I was just finding it comical to be able to think about that at that time. I apologize.
It's okay. I just think it's so sad that we see it in front of our faces, and we fault these young men and young women, and you know they're really, you hear the Pink Floyd, the Machine,
Gotta love your connection issues, Chica.
yeah,
She's moving
Michael
again.
Jackson is a huge MK Ultra victim, or was a huge MK Ultra victim. His handler was his father. Most of these people's handlers are their own parents, which is really sad too.
Right. I couldn't imagine doing anything like that to my kiddos. And I have four of them.
No, no, no. Right. Right. No, it's terrible. I mean, and Lindsay Lohan, she's from a family of like five kids. So, I mean, I think he tried to handle Lindsay's younger sister too, but it I don't know why it works out for some and it doesn't the others, but Britney Spears, has a younger sister and it didn't work out with her either. Um
It
but
almost makes
Amanda,
me want to ask about the Olsen twins.
oh, the Olsen twins are huge MK Ultra.
You think so?
Very much so. And they got them very, very early. And their husbands are usually 30 and 40 years older than them, and their husbands are their handlers.
Oh, geez. Just a
It's
quick
so
update.
sad.
I want to welcome all the new members to our current feed. Appreciate you guys stopping in to say hello. We are currently on topic of the MK Ultra. So the more you learn, the longer you stay, the weirder it gets.
Oh, this is a huge rabbit hole. This goes to even PBS and Nickelodeon and Disney and all their emblems and all their subliminal messages. And I mean, it's terrible. So yeah,
Yep. Wonder if I just poke the screen, she'll come back.
one of the some famous handlers are Robert Maxwell, and he is Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. That's her father. Henry Kissinger, George Bush, and Prescott Bush, of the Bush family. Prescott Bush founded the Skulls and Bones. Thank you. Founded the Skulls and Bones. What?
No, nothing, nothing. Please go ahead.
Oh,
I'm just
and
saying,
how the
they love your
handlers,
glasses.
you can usually recognize a handler because they carry around like three ring notebooks along when they're handling the person. And all of this person's triggers. So they know exactly what sets them into a frenzy immediately. And they use hand signals, they use their triggers against them. It's so mean. Like, I just feel so bad for these people. Yeah, gestures. I mean, you name it, they use it.
Well, I just feel like when it comes to manipulation or any kind of control, I don't think you can just delve onto the ideals of just fear being a factor in terms of controlling. But comedic relief helps a lot. Love is another thing that helps a lot, in my opinion. I figured those strong emotions are what they act on and what they use. I figured fear wouldn't be the only one that they'd slap a kid with. You know what I mean?
I think they bounce back from all of it. They bounce around, so it keeps them not only fearful but just confused all the time about what love is and dependence on an adult is, and and it's used against them, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is one little wild chase we're on this round.
Like, if you think of like these youngsters,
do, 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 do.
so Shia LaBeouf is a male that really was affected by the Monarch plan of the MK Ultra. And you saw him glitch out and get very rebellious, just like about like Britney Spears and Selena Gomez and Lindsay Lohan. And um he got put in jail a couple times. He was starting fights with everyone. Remember the paper bag over his head?
Yeah, I remember the whole thing with LaBeouf or LeBouf.
Yeah. Um, they he was affected by it, but it seems like whenever they have those high emotional glitches, and I think they know they can't be controlled anymore, and so they just kind of leave them to a life of leisure. They
Well,
put them
and
in the barn.
yeah, So now that you bring that up, but it's like every child star that's ever had a rebellious phase, you don't actually see them on the big screen anymore.
No,
Just
no,
sitting there
they
thinking about
went
it,
too
like,
far. Yeah, they went too far. Except, oh, there was maybe Heath Ledger, maybe Joaquin Phoenix. I feel like Joaquin Phoenix was part of the machine.
why is that?
He just started in Hollywood at a very, very young age. They scared him. He lost his brother. Johnny Depp was his brother's handler, and he died at the Viper Room, which Johnny Depp owned. Um, Joaquin Phoenix has been in Hollywood acting since he was 6 or 7 years old. But
That's crazy.
he's always been kind of an outside guy too. So I think his brother would have gotten more had he lived, would have gotten more involved in it than Joaquin. Um so yeah, there's males involved too. Leonardo DiCaprio, MK Ultra. But he managed.
I was gonna say, how can you factor in Mr. DiCaprio into the MK Ultra? He's still acting. He didn't really
Well,
have
that's
an
what you
outburst
said.
phase there.
No, he didn't. Well, he had kind of a rebellious stage where he was getting in a few fights and stuff like that, but nothing that ruined his career. After what was that Titanic, I think he felt like he was in a complete fishbowl, like he couldn't go anywhere.
I don't know.
So,
Part of me feels bad for that guy. He's such a great actor. I don't know if he's gotten any awards for it though. We're not gonna bring up the awards, are we?
didn't he win an award for
I
Aviator?
think I think he was just a nominee.
I
I
thought
could
he
be wrong.
won.
So if I'm wrong, then please somebody correct me. Like
No, I'm not going to bring up the awards. Why would I bring up the awards?
the whole Chris Rock incident with Will Smith.
I mean, Chris Rock got bitch slapped because he was talking about some man's woman. I mean,
Oh man, I had to sneak that one in there, you guys. I apologize.
he looked right at her. He didn't even wait till she walked out of the room. Like he did it in front of the whole world, and it's like, and everybody's like, Will Smith, and he did it in front of everybody. And well, Chris Rock humiliated his wife in front of everybody.
Here's the confusing part about that entire thing, okay? Chris Rock cracked the joke. Will Smith was rolling about it, and all of a sudden he just like poof, he's up there slapping him. I wonder what Jada said to him on the sidelines. You know what I mean? You don't do
Well,
something about this right now.
right, and we don't know how long it takes for things that you hear on the mic there to reach what you're saying, what was said. And it may have been just a delay in the mic. I thought it was fake at first,
Oh no, the
but
look
I
on
think
that man's
everything
face. There's nothing fake about it, in my opinion.
right. I mean, nobody will go around talking about Jada Smith again.
I guess. Way to make her relevant out of nowhere again.
Right. Well, the thing too is
Oh yeah, the
they've
Lions
been
are
so open. And
Joke at a club or specials one things. Eh,
La la
yeah.
la la.
Oh, she's singing for us now. Yay. Oh, you're almost back. I don't know. Until she fully reconnects, I don't think there's anything I'd have done different in Smith's shoes. So, I mean,
See, I would expect my man to stand up for me. I don't know if I would expect him to get up and bitch slap somebody at the Oscars, but I
hey, if
would.
you're gonna, what's that? Go big or
I
go home.
mean, right? I guess. But what kind of confused me about the whole dynamics behind it is Will and Jada have been open about everything. I mean, her
Oh, buddy, I'm gonna start a fight.
so open.
Look, in my opinion, is a lot of people they're not ignorant to my wife's situation. So if anybody ever out in the open, decided to disgrace or make fun of her because of what's going on with her right now, I don't think I'd hesitate to go over there and lay somebody in the dirt. So I understand it wholeheartedly.
Now what?
Oh, you're back. Yay. I said a lot of people aren't ignorant to my
Yay!
wife's current situation. If somebody was to openly just roast her in front of me, I don't think I'd hesitate to put them in the dirt.
Right. I think as her husband that you should. I think that's been lost. And I think
I
women
agree
need to
with the
feel
lion.
protected.
I agree with the lion.
Right. Well, and what confuses me dynamic is
Oh, buddy.
how they're about her having to take Christina and
Your species began to lose the side of honor. Well, all right, you're gonna have to define your species to me, there, bud. Are you an alien, sir? Do we need to talk about this? Yeah, yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree. I have no idea what's going on right now.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Brian James.
That's awesome. I appear to have been frozen. Same with Shannon.
So, I gotta agree with you, Guthrie. I think if Chris Rock would have made the joke about my wife, I mean, it wasn't even really that bad.
it
All he
was
said was, "I'll see you in GI Jane 2." But it's what
right.
Jada said to him afterwards that got Will Smith to get up and smack the taste out of his mouth.
All right, Brian. Thanks for popping in. Sorry, not an alien. I apologize. But gotta go ahead and say goodnight to Jenna at Go Get 'em Paranormal. Thanks for popping in. I know you guys just got off a podcast yourself. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it is most definitely a low blow for sure. The comment that was made, it was for women with hair loss. It's a mean low blow, and that's what we're kind of on right now. I appear to be having connection issues too, it would seem. I certainly hope not, but yeah, everything's in the clear. I think I'm just being funny. But yeah, no, the Oscars was a fun thing to talk about. Lightened up the mood a little bit. Sorry it was at the Rock Chris Rock's expense, but things happen. Yeah, looks like we have a few people who agree. All right, so I think we lost her for a moment. So, is there any questions anybody would like to ask? Something that I can potentially bring up when she comes back? In the meantime, while we're waiting for her. Anybody else have any kind of ideas or anything we should potentially discuss for next week's episode? Something you want to be educated on, something you're interested in about in terms of topic?
Personally, I'd like to see you guys cover the JFK cover up.
The JFK cover up?
Yeah, you know how they dropped his body into 9,000 feet of water and waited, X amount of years to tell the U.S. anything about it. There's so many scandals with JFK, dude.
Dylan came and talked afterwards.
That's yeah, I'll jot that down real quick. Something we can bring up because there's actually a lot that Shannon brings to my attention that I'm actually pretty wholeheartedly into in terms of learning or getting perspective. And I think that's why I love doing these podcasts with her because I always end up leaving with more questions. More questions, searching for more answers. I mean, it's never seemingly a dull moment. So
Shannon is very knowledgeable and very good at what she does.
oh yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been sitting in the back, just kind of popping in while she's gone, so you don't feel all by yourself.
Sometimes it's okay because that means I got to try and figure something out.
Oh, well, fine. I can leave you alone.
No, I didn't say go anywhere. I'm just saying.
But another good topic would be
I'll probably be out in a minute.
Oh, what happened?
No idea. You tell me.
I don't know, man. It's some witching magic.
Yeah, all I know is you, sir, are being reprimanded.
What's that?
You're being yelled at.
What am I being yelled at for?
You got to do it right.
All right, Guthrie. I'm on. Oh,
You're gonna what?
nothing.
I'm gonna.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna hop off here. Hopefully Shannon comes back. But great podcast tonight, man. And definitely fans. If you guys have any topics you want Guthrie and Shannon to cover, let them know now.
Yay, friends.
Yay. Catch you later, Guthrie.
Later, buddy. Hey,
Did you miss me?
just a little bit. Brian was trying to serenade me. It was all bad.
Oh, was it? What song did he sing to you?
All by myself. I'm gonna cry about it now.
Oh,
Well, welcome back. I hope you got your little break in there.
I did. Thank you. Went and had my nails done and went did a little shopping.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
Right, that's it.
So
No, but
one thing I
okay.
was thinking about in terms of the topic of discussion, um, I kind of feel like MK Ultra has their hands, or that particular subject, they have their hands in everything, and I mean everything. And it's like
They've
their
got
little
their
paws
grubby
are.
little paws in everything.
Jeez, that's yeah, that's insane. I
You
just
know,
I
our
I don't.
children's education, TV programming, radio programming, anything that takes thought, they've got their grubby little paws in it.
Good grief. All right, my birds are being noisy. They wanted to say hi, but I won't let them.
And and if people are questioning whether this MK Ultra is real and stuff, you can look up MK Ultra facilities in the United States that are still running, up and running, and it's a very real. Um, quite honestly, I've noticed that a lot of them are in Texas and Florida, and that's where nowadays we have had most of our lone shooters. And, all of these guys have stuff in common. They are, their parents usually are foreign. They have psychiatric problems. They have went to psychiatric facilities, and so I'm wondering if they're being plucked out to being lone wolves too.
I don't know, but earlier in the podcast, you had brought up, before we started talking about the child stars, before we started talking about Disney and Nickelodeon and all that. One thing I don't think we really touched base on is the ideals of. It was brought up, but we never went into detail about it. Was the, we'll say, um, assassins for
Yeah, the
like,
lone wolf.
yeah. So we touched it, but we really didn't get into it. So I was wondering if you had any examples that could follow that. Is That's what I've been thinking about for like 20 minutes now.
Ted Kaczynski is a man. He was. It's terrible what they did to him because he would have been one of the smartest men in the United States. He was a child prodigy. He was Harvard educated, and he, I guess, to make some extra money and MK Ultra experiments, and it just Mark Lloyd Chapman. He's the same guy that shot Reagan. Charles Manson, Sirhan Sirhan. James Whitey Bulger. Like I said, he received MK Ultra experimental treatments when he was in jail in Alcatraz. And I mean, they call him the Dark Mass, because there were so many murders. Um, he committed so many crimes, so many murders, and there was just an empathy that was, just because of MK Ultra.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for record, we can seem to go back to, I think you said, the 1950s, but part of me wonders if it's been going on a lot longer than that. Especially in terms of back in Egypt, or even famous mass murderers like Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean? I just
Oh, yes. Mind control's always been here, always. In Egypt, it was huge. Um, in ancient Egypt, it was huge. In ancient times, it was huge. How do you think? I mean, this is gonna be. How do you think they got so many people into religion?
right, and as much as I want to touch up on that, I feel like religion might be a little bit of a touchy subject.
I feel like I want to respect every individual in their belief system, and I don't want to go the religious path. But I will.
Right,
I just put it out there, just to maybe
right. I
ponder
mean,
on a little bit.
well, and I'll touch it just a little bit. And I think a prime example of that would have been like the old Norse gods. They were huge for the longest time, and then Christianity came over and damn near just wiped it out completely. So there are very few people with very different followings, and they're starting to get bigger again as time goes on. But for the longest time there, they were MIA. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Well, and I'm not even really, and I'm not even talking about that. That the tens of thousands of people that show up in Joel Church and Monday, kind of more of that kind of Jim Jones. Um, and he was MK Ultra. Jim Jones was because uh, Ultra. You know, when they took the people to Guyana, the what 1,500 people or 1,200 people or whatever. If he wasn't giving them, small amounts of MK Ultra to keep them, mind control.
Uh oh. There you are.
Wow, we've had a problem with this tonight, haven't we?
Not so much me. I blame you. It's
Right. It's all my fault. You told me this would happen.
No, I said watch. This is what's gonna happen. We have a good subject to talk about, and
Right. You warned me. So yeah,
okay.
and it makes me wonder, you know, because I'm from Tulsa, of people gathering. I don't see it, but I know it's there, and so I don't know. I think it's fear. The religion here, they get them as fear based.
Mm, I can see that being a thing. It certainly makes sense, though, if
Um,
you look at it from that aspect of things.
I mean, if people are afraid of going to hell, just keep them in fear about it. Everything they do. Um, I'm trying to think of who else was it.
Hell, the Salem witch trials from back in the day.
Right. That's terrible. And that was done by the Catholics. You had your spinster women in town, and they were, they were not cute. Nobody really wanted to marry them, but they didn't expect their community to take care of them. They made beer is what they did. And then the Catholics realized what upstanding citizens they were, how much their community appreciated them, um, how much money they were making, and then that's which when the witch thing turned. They went from winches to witches,
Gotcha.
and right, their brooms, that they show them always having and riding and stuff. They were just simply to keep their bar clean. Their cauldrons, they're supposed to be making these witches brew. They were making beer. The black
Right.
cats, they always kept in their bars to keep the critters down, the mice and stuff to
So,
keep their
just to wrap it all up, then, basically, MK Ultra's been around forever. The only difference is it finally had a name in the 1950s. So we can chalk it up to
No, I
human
don't think MK
experimentation.
Ultra's been around forever, but I think Mind Control has, but MK Ultra came around in the 50s.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that there's finally a word for it in documentation, and people are actually focusing on it. So now they have something to compare it with in other stories and whatnot. So, human experimentation, mind control has been around since the beginning of time. Um, and it's just played a huge part in everyone's everyday life on the constant, whether they agreed with it or not. And
Right. I
that's
mean, we
from
get trained from kindergarten up.
which drives people nuts now. If you can think by think for yourself.
I've never been a real school. Like I really enjoyed learning in school, but I was really never a real rule follower.
Yep, that makes sense. That's the thing. All right.
Right.
Well, it's that time. Unfortunately, we have to go our separate ways. I'm gonna miss your face
I'm gonna miss your face, but I'll see you next Tuesday.
next Tuesday, same time. It sounds like a date.
Sounds like a
Anyway,
day.
thank you everybody for coming in and hanging out with us and listening to us babble on. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun, and we will see you guys next week.